John Page, General Manager for SMG at the Greater Columbus Convention Center. In 2014, the Greater Columbus Convention Center's Managing Authority determined that we were going to go forward with a $140 million expansion and renovation of our convention center. A game changer, we were hoping, for the city of Columbus and for this convention center. Of that, we were not going to close the facility, so we had kind of our marching orders that the project had to be done. It was going to occur over a 22-month period of time, and we weren't going to close our facility. So as we looked at it in late 2014, when we made this announcement for a project that would commence in September 2015 and run to July of 2017, so again 22 months, at the time period we had 336 events that were on our books contracted of that. That was a lot of events that we would have impacted by the construction, and that wasn't going to be acceptable. So from that, I kind of put together a war room, so to speak, of myself and our sales team, and we met for a 2-week period of time to review all of these groups and seeing where we possibly could shave the impact from those groups, so we didn't have 336 individual customers that we had to come up with construction plans for, and what that impact would be, because the entire facility, 1.7 million square feet of the convention center, was going to be touched with this project. So everything was going to be renovated, and in addition, a 100,000 square foot expansion as part of the project. So after about 2 weeks period of time in that war room, and a lot of pizza and sodas and laughter and elbows on the table, we were able to shorten the groups that were actually impacted by the construction, not lost, from 336 to 144. So right away, although we had 336 events contracted, only 144 of those events will actually be impacted by the construction, of which we had to come up with plans for. And those plans included possibly shifting their meeting space from one portion of the building to another. We came up with some creative things, such as we built a ballroom inside of our exhibit halls to kind of recreate our ballroom closure aspect of that. There were some groups that we would look to ask to shift dates, and we would incentivize them to be able to shift their dates. All options were on the table, just to make sure that we could, importantly, keep everyone here, that we weren't going to lose any business through this project for us, which we knew would be a game changer for our city and destination. So once we did that, then it became up to me as a general manager to lead that charge, and that meant me getting on flights and from New York to Chicago to Washington, D.C. and visiting national customers. State Association is a huge marketplace for us here in the state capital of Columbus and at the Convention Center, so meeting with state association groups throughout the state, speaking to our local customers as well. And so of those 144 events, it was important for me to reach out and touch them all directly, not do it by email, not do it by phone. I will say I came up a little short in my charge. I think the number is 137 of the 144 customers I actually met with the other 7, almost because of the timing. I had to get them on the phone because I didn't want them to find out from other sources about this project. I'm proud to say that of that group of the 144, we lost no one. So all convention center customers, again, all not totally happy, but no one left. No one looked to sue us, no one threatened us, anything from that standpoint. It became kind of a shared sacrifice, understanding of greater good. There were some incentives that were given to some of those customers, but at the same period of time, it was one that we focused on the future and kind of going ahead, and everyone was looking towards what that would be and the impact of the new convention center would be. The other piece of noting is, along with the project, it was a 22-month project, but it was one that we had to be unique with on the construction because we couldn't close the entire facility, as I noted before, and everything couldn't be under construction at the same time to still operate as a convention center. So we did 22 months in 22 phases. And it didn't quite work out to be every month there was an individual phase that was going to go under construction. Some were shorter than a month, and some were as much as 3 or 4 months to get done. But nonetheless, there were 22 months and 22 individual phases to complete the project. And then we began moving things around. So we started in certain meeting rooms, and we always wanted to make sure we had additional meeting rooms open. When we took out a ballroom, we wanted to make sure the ballroom was always open. When we took out an exhibit hall, again, you get the picture. There always had to be an exhibit hall open. So we created, there were kind of community tours that we did for customers to come in and understand the project, and then when we got to the hard hat phase, put them in hard hats. And these community tours were also open to the larger community. You didn't have to be a convention center customer to come and experience these tours. We got our stakeholders on board. Everything from We're All In, there were buttons and there were slogans that we had with our hoteliers and our Commission Visitors Bureau, that everyone understood that this project for us was not just a convention center project, but it was a Columbus project that would improve our entire destination and the events that we will be able to attract with this type of construction that would occur there. So, kind of fast forward through this is that some numbers for you. 336 events on the books at the time period that we announced the construction. 144 events actually impacted. By the time the project was completed in July 2017, we actually completed 583 events. So during the construction environment, we actually grew by almost 240, 250 events that we were able to book anew within a 2-year period of time. And we did that by really selling a lot of future. We were selling spaces that weren't completed yet, but we were selling a vision.